Hey guys, welcome to the team call for tonight, March 26th. Thank you all for hopping on. I'm really excited about what we have planned for you tonight because we are going to have some of the coaches on our team sharing their success stories with you and telling you about the impact that Beachbody has had on their lives. Before we get started with that, I actually want to do a couple shout outs because we have some coaches on our team this month who are really doing amazing. Already, we still have, like 6 days left in the month, and so far, Bethany Sherman, Bethany Dunlap, Ashley McClanahan, Sarah Brower, Christian Jones, and Jesenia have all already hit Success Club for this month. So way to go, ladies. That is awesome, and especially we still have time left, so I'm really proud of all of you. And there's even more of you who have at least a few points and plenty of time. So I think this is going to be a really great month for our team, and that's a lot of lives that you guys are changing. So I'm going to start tonight with just telling you my story, and some of you have heard it before, but I think actually there's some of you who haven't heard it before, so I'll just go ahead and share. And it's not a traditional story because I don't really have a weight loss story, but it is kind of a health transformation story. I signed up as a coach in August of 2011. It was right after my youngest son was born. My sponsor is Tara Carr, and she had actually only been a coach for a couple months at that time. And she was posting on Facebook like every day, try Beachbody, do this, vote for me, do this, other thing, try Shakeology. And it was really annoying actually, and I almost like this close to unfriending her. But before I did that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try Shakeology. And since I'm in the military and I can get it for a discount, I think I'll go ahead and sign up as a coach also. So I ordered Shakeology. Like I said, my son had just been born, Matthew. He's 3 now. And I thought, I have a couple pounds to lose. I'm going to try Shakeology and see how I like it. By the time I got my Shakeology in the mail. Actually, I was too scared to even try it because I was pretty convinced that it wasn't going to taste good. So I put it on the shelf in the pantry. I didn't even open the box. And okay, I haven't shared this part of my story before. Before I even opened that box, the second one came in the mail, and I quickly hid that one in the pantry too because I was like, shoot, if my husband opens this and sees the receipt, he's going to be like, what? We're spending this much money on something you haven't even drank? Anyways, but shortly after I started ordering Shakeology, I found a lump in my neck. And I went to the doctor because I was pretty sure that that was going to be strep throat. And he said, actually, you do have strep throat, but that's not what's wrong. That's not why you have these lumps in your neck. And I'm going to refer you to an ENT. And so I went to the ENT, and it was kind of a long process, but eventually I found out that I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. And that is when I finally broke out the Shakeology and decided to try it because at that point I had to have surgery and I found out I was going to have 6 months of chemo. And while initially I bought Shakeology because I wanted to try to lose a few pounds, at that point I just thought, I'm probably not going to feel much like eating some days. If I could just drink this, regardless of how it tastes, I know that I'm going to be putting a lot of good nutrition into my body. So on days that I don't feel like eating, maybe I could just drink this instead. And I took it to my oncologist, and he approved it and said it was fine if I went ahead and started to drink that, but recommended not starting with exercise at that point because I really didn't need to lose very much weight. So I started drinking Shakeology. The first night I tried it, my mom was visiting. She stayed with me a lot during that 6 months because she was helping to take care of my kids. Matthew was 5 months old when I started doing chemo, and she and I both tried Shakeology together for the first time, and she said, "Oh, this tastes like seaweed," but she drinks it now every day too, so we both got over the taste thing. What was really weird is that I started drinking it and it didn't take very long and I started to feel changes. It was probably the time from when I ordered Shakeology to when I was diagnosed was probably about 4 months, because like I said, I started chemo at 5 months when Matthew was 5 months old. And this was a long time ago, so I'm trying to remember my timeline a little bit. But I started drinking it right around the time that I had my first surgery, and I would drink it every single day, and I started feeling a huge difference in how I felt. And once I started chemo, everybody told me my hair would fall out, and I was just waiting there like day 16, that's when your hair falls out. At this point, I've been drinking Shakeology at day 16 for probably about 6 to 8 weeks. My hair didn't fall out, and every time I went to chemo, the nurses would be like, "You still have hair. What's going on?" And my hair never fell out. It did a little bit, but not the way that it's supposed to when you're having chemo. I was prescribed a stool softener as like to go along with my chemo medicine or whatever. I never had to take it because around day 3 after my chemo, my husband would be like, "Go drink your shake," and then I could go to the bathroom. Like I literally would drink the shake, could go to the bathroom. That's probably TMI, but it was huge for me because the stool softener, it didn't help, but Shakeology did. I'm trying to even remember some of this stuff. I had relatively no nausea compared to what other people have. I was prescribed nausea medication that I didn't even take one time. And after I'd been doing chemo for about 4 months, I still had hair. I was still drinking Shakeology almost every day, with the exception of the actual days of my chemo treatments, because whatever I would eat right before would make me sick afterwards. I realized that after about 2 treatments, and normally my husband would come and pick me up and we'd go on like a little date, and then he'd take me to my treatments. My mom stayed with the kids. And after the second week, I was like, we can't go on dates to places I like because that food makes me sick after. And we started eating at places like Arby's, like junk food that I'm like, I never want to eat this again. Let's go to horrible places. So I wouldn't drink Shakeology on those days because I didn't want me to feel sick from it. But the rest of the time I would. And what was funny is just not even very far into chemo, I started feeling like literally the best I had felt in 4 or 5 years. And I had more energy even going through treatments. A lot of the symptoms that I had was supposed to have from chemo were either non-existent or very, very small. And I looked at about 4 months into my chemo, I was talking about Shakeology all the time because I was like, guys, this stuff is awesome. I'm drinking it all the time. I feel amazing. And my friends were like, oh, how can I order it? And that's when I was like, oh, well, you can order it from me. I'm a coach. And I started doing research on the ingredients and realized that of the 70 superfoods in Shakeology, 20 of them are thought to prevent or not cure, but 20 of the ingredients are thought to prevent cancer possibly. This is from the American Cancer Society website. I would just type in the ingredient and read what it said that ingredient is thought to do by the American Cancer Society. And obviously I'm not a doctor, so I'm not making any sort of claims here about what Shakeology did, although I do think it really helped with the hair thing. And I did have 6 months of chemo. So I just want to be clear that chemo is what cured my cancer, not Shakeology. But Shakeology, I think, helped get me through it. And some of the ingredients in Shakeology even are thought to reduce or lessen the side effects of chemo. So, for example, maitake mushroom is thought to keep your hair in, and that's one of the ingredients in Shakeology. So there was I think there were 6 or 7 ingredients like that in Shakeology. And so I realized at that point when I started doing all this research that probably Shakeology was responsible for a lot of the, fact that I wasn't having the nausea and that I felt amazing and that I still had hair. So that's when I decided to start pursuing this as a business. And I'll save my business story for another day. But that's my health story. And, I still don't really have any sort of weight loss story, but I've been drinking Shakeology now for over 3 years. And I can't imagine not drinking it. Even if I wasn't a coach, I would still be telling all my friends, you know, this is awesome. You should be drinking it every day because of the way I feel. It's just amazing. And yeah, so that's kind of my story. And now I would love to hear from some other coaches. One of Kendall Lynn said that she would like to share her story, and she has really amazing weight loss success story with TurboFire and Shakeology. So I'm going to unmute her now and let her share with us. So go ahead, Kendall Lynn.
Okay. Hello. So I think probably a lot of you have maybe seen my story probably floating around out there on Facebook or wherever. I don't really think it's anything, I don't think my story is too unique, but I feel like a lot of moms can relate to me. Just probably, I guess, after my second child was born, I started working out to Jillian Michaels' DVDs, the 30-Day Shred. I believe you're supposed to do that like 30 days in a row. And it's like the same workout every day. I wasn't doing it 30 days in a row. I was doing it like, 3-4 times a week. And I was kind of, getting back into shape, but nothing like totally drastic or anything. And then I got pregnant with my third baby, and because of horrible morning sickness, I just pretty much stopped working out, and I didn't work out at all during that entire pregnancy. And so then after he was born, I still didn't really work out. And I guess it wasn't until a few months before he turned 1 that I decided, I need to kind of get back into shape. And I was actually having a lot of problems with my sciatic nerve. And I actually went to see my doctor, who sent me to military doctors always send you to the physical therapy. And they told me that I could really benefit from working my core muscles. So I was like, okay, I guess I need to, work out. So that's when I started doing my Jillian Michaels DVDs again. And once again, I could only get myself to do them like probably 3 times a week. I just, as a busy mom, I was like, I do not have time to work out. I didn't even want to work out. I pretty much forced myself to do it. And I always went to story time every week with my kids, and that's where I met Ashley. And I was always seeing her post on Facebook too about, things she was doing. And but anyways, there was a couple times that she had talked to me about this awesome program, TurboFire. And she's, just the way she would describe it to me, because I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what's TurboFire, And she's like, it's so much fun, and, it's really cool music, and it's just fun. You would love it. And because I used to dance all growing up, I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds like right up my alley. But once she told me about the price, I was like, wow, I don't think so. So she talked to me about it really a few different times before, I told my husband, I really want to get this. And I still wasn't into the Shakeology. I was not going to try that yet. I was still kind of had the mindset, even she had told me what it was, but I still had the mindset that was like, I think I thought it was like a weight loss shake or something, and that I didn't need some kind of a shake. So that's why I didn't try Shakeology at first. But so I got my TurboFire, and I didn't really have high expectations when I first started it. I didn't honestly think I would even finish it. I didn't think I would do it every day. I thought I would do it like a couple times a week, like the Jillian DVDs. But it was so much fun. It really was fun. And Shalene is so much more motivating than Jillian Michaels ever could be. So I really felt like Shalene was my personal, trainer, and just things she would say, I felt kept me going, and that kept me coming back every day. And I just took it literally day by day, and I had the schedule was like posted up in my bedroom. And so, every day I would do a workout and I would cross it off. And every day that I got to cross it off, I was like so excited. And as it went on, and I was looking, like I've done every day, just got to the point where I was like, okay, I've gotten this far, so I can't skip a day now. So I would like make sure I got that in. And I felt really guilty quite a few times because especially my youngest, he was just, barely turned a year old. And, just with the kids, it was so hard. So I'd always feel guilty that I was, taking some time away from my day or doing other things to do this workout. And a lot of times they would be like, why do you have to work out again? You just worked out yesterday. But it was Ashley that always reminded me, that I'm doing this for, I need to do this for myself so that I can help, so I can better take care of them. So really she made me realize that, I was taking care of myself. And so anyways, I finished it, and I actually didn't really, I lost only about 10 pounds during that 90 days, but just the whole transformation, I think, of my body was just like, I couldn't even believe it that, clothes were like falling off of me. I had no clothes. I had to go shopping. And then when people would see me, they couldn't even, believe it. I mean, I was not that size ever, like in high school, nothing. I was not that size. So that was just huge and really awesome to like have people constantly say, like, wow, how'd you lose all that weight? And I'm like, it's Turbo Fire. So I guess it was, sometime after that point that I decided I wanted to become a coach too. And I was thinking at first it could maybe just kind of be like a hobby, but, it'd be cool to, tell other people about that program also. And then I did start drinking Shakeology because Ashley said you should probably at least try it so you could tell people how it tastes. So I did try it, and I'm hooked now. But so that's how I got started. That's all.
Awesome. Thank you, Kendall. And I was looking to see if I could find your pictures. Has everybody seen Kendall's transformation pictures? They're pretty amazing. Like, she did a really awesome job. And the first time I saw your pictures, Kendall, I was like, what? Like, that's crazy awesome. I had no idea because I've, since I've met you, you've been this size. But you know what I was thinking the other day? I've never actually met you. Like, I was thinking when it'll be really nice to see you again at Summit. And then I was like, wait, I've never met her, which is so weird because it feels like I really know you because we've been, doing this for over a year. So anyway. Okay. Let's see. Ashley, you want to share next? I'll unmute you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. That's fine. Last week on the Diamond Call, I kind of shared a little bit about my business story, about being a coach. And today I don't really want to talk about that. I'd rather talk about the fitness side of it because that's the fun side. Of course, my story is similar to Kendall's, but mine just happened a little bit sooner than she did. When I had 2 kids, we moved to Arizona, and I had a 3-year-old and an 18-month-old. And I had always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and for whatever reason, I got my dream of being a stay-at-home mom, but I was miserable inside. I was taking care of everybody in my house and being that perfect mom. I was making baby food. I was doing this. I was trying to do everything right, and inside I was just miserable because nobody was taking care of me. And so I was becoming very angry and resentful and, just not happy inside. And so it was about that same time that a friend of mine started to run. And I figured, well, maybe I could try that. I'd see how it would go. So I started to run, and I absolutely loved it and kind of found myself through running. Running is actually my soulmate workout. But I ran, and that's all I did. I was a runner who only ran. I didn't do any other workouts. And then we got pregnant, and I had my third child. And again, I stopped running completely while I was pregnant because I had morning sickness. And then after I had my third child, it was about a year before I got started working out again. Something was missing. I was still miserable, but I could not figure out how to balance 3 kids and taking the time to take care of myself. My third child, Austin, he was a really, really rough baby. He was so hard to take care of, and he was constantly crying, and there was just nothing there. I mean, I just didn't have any time. But the whole time that I wasn't working out, I knew now what was missing, but I didn't know how to find the time to figure it out. So right about the time he turned 1, I said, I can't take it anymore. And I had Jillian Michaels' 30-day shred. And I don't know if any of you have done that one, but doing that workout every day, day after day, the exact same workout. Like at the end, you just want to punch Jillian in the throat. Like literally, it's absolutely miserable. And I slowly started to run. And I think it's probably about that time that I saw Amy, or I was thinking about doing Insanity, because I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do Insanity, I'm going to run, I'm going to do all this stuff. And I think I met Amy through a spouse page that I typed on that I was looking for Insanity, and she probably commented, oh, I'm here, or whatever. Somehow we friended each other, and I didn't end up getting Insanity. But she hosted a fit club, and I was curious about Shakeology because I had another friend who was drinking it and really liked it, and I was very skeptical, and I wanted to try it. And I figured, well, if I could try it first, I would see how it goes and maybe commit to doing it. So I went to one of Amy's fit clubs, tried Turbo Fire, and ended up ordering Shakeology. And it's the Shakeology that really got me at first, because I really felt that it helped me with my running. I would drink it either before my run or after my run, depending on how long I was running. And it really helped me recover, helped me stay energized, and I really loved it. And of course, I was sharing my love of fitness with everybody, so coaching just kind of naturally fit in. But I really loved the chance to do different workouts other than running. I have realized now that it's better to have a variety, and you can't just run. I was getting injured and all sorts of other things. So Beachbody saved my body in a way from the constant injuries I was getting as a runner. So I don't have a huge weight loss transformation like Kendallin. I had kind of lost a bunch of the weight because I had done that 30-day shred for a while, and I'd kind of gotten to where I wanted to be when Beachbody came in, but it helps me with my running.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Ashley. Okay, one more. Jesenia is going to share with us, so I will unmute you. And Ashley and Kendallin, well, Ashley's been a coach for about 2 years, I think, or 2.5 years. And Kendallin has been a coach for a year and a half, maybe. I'm guessing-ish. Okay, about 2 years. And Jesenia has only been a coach since January, but she already has really good results. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll do kind of like a double-sided story, because the business and my fitness kind of all happened at one time for me. So I had been struggling for the past 4 years, really just battling like just depression, and we were just going through a really hard financial time. And so when you're a mom of 3 little girls at home, and you homeschool and everyone's kind of pulling from you, and you're just trying to keep your head above the water, life starts to wear down on you. So I was definitely feeling the effects of life. And in my 20s, when I had my first daughter, I was always at the gym. Like, I've always been an active person, always loved working out. And then I had my second, and then immediately had my third. And our circumstances had shifted. So I was a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids, and getting out to the gym wasn't at all practical for me. I couldn't do it. My husband travels for a living, so I'm home by myself. So the past 4 years, I had just battled not feeling good, no energy, couldn't sleep at night, like felt like I needed to go to bed as soon as I woke up in the morning. And so I have been just trying for the past year to like get back to like me, where I felt good again, and I felt like, I was taking time for me and not giving to everyone. But about a year ago, I was working in corporate America and had a great job, and so I started going to the gym in the morning because at that time we just put the girls back in, like put them in school. And I was going to the gym and I was like on the treadmill, doing the circuits, trying to eat like, decent. I can't say I was perfect at all, but I'll try to, watch what I ate. And like nothing was working. I wasn't losing any weight. And for me, I was struggling because I weighed more than I did delivering my third daughter. So for me, that was really tough to swallow because I'm like, wait a minute. I weigh more now than I did when I was pregnant delivering a baby. I'm not okay with that. And so I was doing all this stuff at the gym and like I was getting so frustrated because I'm like, in my 20s, this stuff would have just fallen off. And now I'm in my mid-30s and I'm working my butt off and nothing's happening. So I was making part of my goals for the year, and in January, I was like, I'm going to take care of me. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do something for me. And I also had it written down on my goal sheet for this year. I said, one of my personal goals is I want people, when they hear the name Jesenia, I want them to go, oh my gosh, she is so inspiring. She's so motivating, and she's like the most encouraging person I've ever met. Like literally, I wrote that down in my notepad. And I said, that is my personal goal. I said, I want to be someone that people go, man, she's so contagious to be around. So I had already made that my personal goal. And I was like, I'm going to really start to put myself out there, make some new friendships this year. Like this is going to happen. So in January, I'm on Facebook and I see Amy's post about her little post about, hey, I'm a homeschool mom. You want to see how I earn a living from home? And like, I'm like, huh. So I click, I'm like, yes, I do. And so I click, and then I was just reading all her information. I'm like, I am so interested in this. So I filled out the stuff, got in touch with Amy, and through a process of just trying to get everything together, she told me, she's like, okay, what you need is a challenge pack and this and that. And for me, I had used Beachbody products in my 20s. So I'm like, okay, what? Like, cool. I'm totally game. Like, there was no convincing me. I was 100% in, not even knowing, honestly, what I was signing up for. And so she signed me up with a 21-day fix. I'm like, sure, yeah, Shakeology, that all sounds great. Let me process my credit card. So it came in the mail, and like I told my husband, I was like, so I signed up to do this thing, and I'm really going to start to make me time this year, and I'm going to start to make me as focused. And he's like, okay, that's great, babe. And I told him, I was like, it's kind of a business thing. So my thought is I'm just going to try it. I mean, like, I have nothing to lose, right? And he's like, sure, babe, like, whatever. And so I started doing the 21-day fix, started doing Shakeology, and I mean, it was amazing. Like, I felt so good. I had energy again, totally kicked my sugar and caffeine habit. And I lost 10 pounds in my first 21 days and 9 inches. And that was huge for me because I had fought to get off even 5 pounds in the past year. So that my confidence. And I even told Amy when I first met with her, I said, listen, I'm going to really struggle with this business because I don't really have any friends. I don't know anybody in this area. We moved, so I'm new to the area. I don't go to church out here. We homeschool, so I don't have like a slew of people I hang out with every day. And she's like, that's okay. We'll get you going. So when I started sharing my story on Facebook, people pretty much went like, just crazy. They were like, what are you doing? Like messaging me. And I started just sharing my story with them. And so I've been coaching since the end of January, and now we're at the end of March, and I love this business. Like, I'm actually getting paychecks in the mail every week, and that so excites me. Every week I go and open the mail, I'm like, sweet, another paycheck. And of course, I just think this team is amazing, and it's so awesome to have support. And so I'm now totally down. I just finished, I'm on my third round of it now, and I'm down 18 pounds and 21 inches total.
That's awesome.
That's my story.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's really inspiring, and it's really exciting to me because, you know, we're always like, this is all about changing lives. And what I think is really cool is like, I didn't even know you. Like we were not friends. And actually, of all of my personally sponsored coaches who are on the call tonight, I didn't know like half of you. Melissa and Alex are the only people that I actually knew in real life, not just from randomly on the internet. So it's really cool. Like, this is my favorite part. I'm really glad we did this because it's really neat to hear other people's stories and like how we really are changing people's lives. And so I think that's really exciting, and an exciting thing to tell your prospects too, because it's not just like, we're not just selling something, you know, we're actually doing something that's really exciting here. So, okay. Thank you all for hopping on here tonight. Before we hop off, I went and found a picture of Kindle's results because I just really did want to share these, especially since we're recording it and other people will watch it hopefully in the future. So I'm going to put that up real quick. Okay. So if you can see that, like, she has some pretty amazing results. So yeah, good job. All right. Hopefully you all saw that. So I am going to let you guys go, and I look forward to talking to you next week. I think you all know I just got back from a conference in Utah, so I have a lot of really good ideas for calls for next month, and I'm really looking forward to sharing with you guys what I learned this weekend. And have a great week. And like I said, we have 6 days left in the month, so let's don't stop. Let's keep changing lives. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye.